Chapter 10: Correlation and Regression. In this chapter, we have scatter diagram. A scatter diagram is a graph of the order pair x and y of numbers consisting of the independent variable x and dependent variable y. If one of the variables have been controlled, it's called the independent or explanatory variable. The other variable is then independent or response variable. So here are the 6 examples of the scatter diagram. For the first one, we have a strong positive correlation. The value of y clearly increases as the value of x increases. So y increases, x will also increase. So the next one, the second one, weak positive correlation. This is because the value of y increases slightly as the value of x increase. And the third one, no correlation, because there is no demonstrated connection between the two variables. Number 4, this is a strong negative correlation. The value of y you can clearly decreases as the value of x increase. Number 5, this is a weak negative correlation. The value of y decreases slightly as the value of x increases. And the last one, this is a complex correlation. The value of y seems to be related to the value of x, but the relationship is not easily determined. Pearson product moment correlation coefficient. So this is the formula, R equal to Sxy over square root Sxx Syy. So this is the formula for XSS, SYY, and SXY. If you sub everything into the first formula, you can get the final formula. And this formula is provided in the exam, so you don't have to memorize. If you can memorize it, it is better because it will help you to do the question more faster. So if R equal to 1, there is a perfect positive linear correlation between the two variables. If R equal to -1, there is a perfect negative linear correlation between the two variables. If R equal to 0, there is no linear correlation between the two variables. So there's a range R1 until -1. Now let's look at the example. The variable x and y have 5 pair values as shown in the following table. Calculate the coefficient of linear correlation between x and y and comment your answer. Here are the solution. The first step you have to do is form the table with x, y, x squared, y squared, and xy. You don't have to calculate all this on your own, you just have to key into your calculator. If you are using FX 570 ES Plus, you can just press mode. After that, you look for step number 3, then press 2. You key in all the data in the question to your calculator, then you will get the total amount of each. After you getting the total amount, you have to put into your formula. So R, so you can get this. You just put everything into the formula, you get the answer 0.933. And you have to comment this is a strong positive linear relation between x and y. Coefficient of determination gives a percentage of change in the values of y as a result of change in the value of x. Measure the relative amount of variable of the dependent variable that's attributable to the independent variable. Measure of the variation of the dependent variable that is explained by the regression line and the independent variable. So here are the example. So example, and calculate the coefficient of determination and comment on your result. So for this is actually SXY, yes, and this is SXX. So this is another form. You have to know it. If you don't know, you don't know how to apply. So you just put all the value into the formula and then put in your calculator, you get the answer. After you get answer, after you get R, coefficient of determination is R squared. So you just have to square your answer. You can get the answer 0.00190, and you have to comment on your result. So you change into percentage. You comment 0.19% of the change of y is depends on x. Least square regression line. Regression line, straight line of least square that can be drawn on a scatter diagram. The regression line have two types, either y on x or x on y. So if it is y on x, that means you are going to estimate the y using x value. So this is the formula, y equal to a plus bx. And then what is b? B is sxy over sxx. Then here are the a, because you are going to find the unknown. A and b is unknown, so you are going to find the value. If it is x on y, that means you are going to estimate the x using y value. So the formula is x equal to c plus dy. And because c and d are unknown, so I have to find them. So this is the formula to find d, sxy over syy, and c equal to mean of x minus d times mean of y. Example, the following table shows the grades for maths and science obtained by 10 students selected at random from a large group of students. So here are the results, here are the table, and the question is A, draw a scatter diagram for the data. B, calculate the Pearson correlation coefficient of the data. C, find the equation of regression line of y on x and interpret B. D, if a student receives a grade of 75 for maths, what is his expected grade for science? E, if a student receives a grade of 50 for maths, what is his expected grade for science? And the solution, the first step, same as just now, you have to form the table with x, y, x squared, y squared, and xy. You have to key into your calculator, then you get all this, and actually you just need the total amount. You don't need the very detail, like the first one x squared is 5,625. You don't need this. You actually just need the total. If you key into the calculator, you can directly get a total number of each, so you don't have to waste too much of time. Draw a scatter diagram for the data. For this, I won't show you the solution because this is too easy. You just have to plot the data in the question into your graph paper, and you don't have to link it together. You just leave it like that. You just plot and leave it like that. So we start from B. Calculate the Pearson correlation coefficient of the data. So that means R. You just have to sub all the number into the formula, and you key into your calculator, you can get the answer 0.887. So C, find the equation of the regression line of y on x. The first step, you have to find the value of B. So B is sxy over sxx. So it is exactly the same with this two. For the below one, you don't have to take the square root. Okay, you just copy and paste, and then you just put in your calculator, you can get the answer 0.658. After you get the value of B, so you can try to get the value of A. So value of A is y mean of y minus minus B times x mean. So you just sub everything into the equation, and you get the answer 29.1. So 29.1 is the value of y when x equal to 0. So you have the equation. Now you have the equation y equal to 29.1 plus 0.658x. So this is the gradient. So when x increases by 1 unit, y will increase by how many units? So just now the question asks you to interpret B. So you have to give the comment. When the grade of maths increases by 1 mark, the grade of science increases by 0.658 marks. So D, if a student receives a grade of 75 for maths, what is his expected grade for science? So you can just sub the number 75 into your formula, and you will get answer 78.45, and this is reliable. For E, the student get 50 for maths. You just sub into the equation and you get the answer 62. This is not reliable because 50 is out of the range of the data. 50 is out of the range of the data because you can look at the question just now. The least value is 65 and 50 is out of the range of the data. So that's why it is not reliable. Spearman rank correlation coefficient, and here are the formula. It is also R, but it's different with the previous one. So this is 1 minus 6 sum of d squared. D is the difference of rank over n bracket open bracket n squared minus 1 close bracket. So R equal to 1 means that the rankings are in perfect agreement. R equal to 0 means that there's no correlation between the rankings. R equal to -1 means that the rankings are in complete disagreement. Example, the following data shows the annual income per head of population X in RM and the infant mortality Y per 1,000 live births for the sample of 11 countries. So here are the data, and find the Spearman rank correlation coefficient. So what you have to do for this question, the first step, you have to form the table. Same as it's a bit different because you have to give the rank. For this chapter, you have to rank. For the greatest value is number 1. So you try to find the X, which is the greatest value. This is the greatest value. So X number 1, and then the second greatest value. This is number 2. This is number 2. B is number 2. So you just give the rank for all the data for all the country. So after that, you can do the same for Y, but the problem comes for Y. You can clearly see that this is the first one, but for the second and third one, in between these two, because they have the same number, so we get a midpoint. 2 and 3 will get a midpoint 2.5 for each. So like this, 2.5. Okay, so after you complete all this, you have to calculate the difference. So you have to find the difference. This means you use X minus Y. You do this for all the countries. So if you want to check your answer is correct or not, you can check sum of D. This means you sum up the country A to country K. It will equal to 0. So this shows that your answer is correct. So after that, you have to do for D squared. This means the D you have to square, and you can get the total number. After you find the D squared, you have to sum up all the D squared. You get 420.5, and then you sub into the formula. You get an answer -0.911, and then you have to give a comment. This is a strong disagreement of ranking between X and Y. That's all for this chapter, so I hope you can learn something from this video.